Hey, it's Dana from Dogs Naturally, and today we're going to talk about colostrum, specifically bovine colostrum. Now, if you haven't heard about this little supplement, it's probably worth taking a look at. There's well over 1,000 clinical studies on this, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the top 5 reasons why you might want to give it to your dog. Let's start with reason number 1. Now, the first reason you might want to give your dog colostrum is if your dog has allergies. What's really cool about colostrum is that it contains something called proline-rich polypeptide, or PRP. And this is actually a hormone that's capable of balancing the immune system. So for a dog with allergies or joint pain, what happens is they're in chronic inflammation because the immune system over-responds. It's hyperactive. It over-exaggerates its response to either like friendly molecules in the body. That's what allergies are. So colostrum, it can down-regulate that immune system and start eating into that inflammation and calming that inflammation down. And on the other hand, with a lot of allergies and skin disease, they can be autoimmune in nature. And what autoimmune means is that the immune system loses the ability to identify foreign matter from itself. And what it does is it starts attacking its own tissues. So the PRPs in colostrum are capable of activating that immune system and helping it to do a better job of recognizing itself. Or if your dog has inflammation, it helps to calm that inflammation by down-regulating the immune system. Now, there's another reason that colostrum can help with allergies, and that's point number 2. Now, you've heard us talk a lot about leaky gut, and here's exactly what leaky gut is. What happens is if your dog, just by eating toxins in his environment, eating processed food or high-starch food, or obviously by taking antibiotics, what can happen is that the microbes in his gut can become unbalanced, and this causes irritation in the gut. And what happens when the gut gets irritated is that there's little holes in it that allow digested protein, digested food to get through into the blood supply. When your dog has leaky gut, those holes get really big and undigested protein can pass through. Now, when this happens, the immune system will over-respond even more to this foreign tissue getting through, and that causes a lot of allergy symptoms. What's really cool about colostrum is that it can actually heal the gut and decrease the size of those holes so that the foreign protein can't get through anymore. If your dog has digestive upset, it'll also help with that. It'll soothe the gut lining. And if your dog suffers from yeast, which so many dogs do, that's directly related to leaky gut. So not only will colostrum help seal the gut, it also has a lot of probiotics in it, which will help the gut to colonize friendly bacteria and balance the friendly bacteria against the unfriendly bacteria and just restore the health in the gut. And of course, 70% or more of the immune system resides in the gut. So if you don't have a healthy gut, your dog is not going to have a healthy immune system. So that leads me to point number 3. So while we're talking about colostrum and its effect on the immune system, we're going to talk about how it can help prevent and even help treat cancer. Colostrum contains something called cytokines, specifically interleukin and interferon. And what these little guys do is that they activate special white blood cells in the body that can actually attack cancer cells. And what's good about that is that they leave the healthy cells intact. These cytokines can also attack viruses directly. Colostrum also contains something called lactoferrin, and this directly fights viruses and bacteria. And as a matter of fact, they're researching this right now as a treatment for cancer. And colostrum also contains the antioxidant called phytic acid, and what that does is it prevents iron from reaching cancer cells and feeding them, so it really helps to stop the fuel for cancer. Now, while we're talking about the immune system, let's move on to reason number 4 to give your dog colostrum. Here's an interesting study done in 2007. What they did was they took lab animals and they gave some of them colostrum and some of them the flu vaccine. And what they found was the animals that were given colostrum had a better chance of fighting the flu than the animals that were vaccinated. It was actually 3 times more effective. And probably the reason for that is the reasons that we just discussed. It's colostrum's ability to regulate and balance the immune system and its ability to directly fight viruses. And if we circle back to cancer, a lot of cancer theories based on the fact that they think that viruses might either cause or exacerbate cancer symptoms. So again, it's a great idea if you can give your dog a supplement that's going to help him to fight viruses. Now, let's move on to reason number 5 to give your dog colostrum, and this is an interesting one. So as I talked about earlier, colostrum is a fantastic antibiotic. As a matter of fact, before antibiotics and sulfa drugs were invented, they actually used colostrum as an antibiotic, and they've been using it in Ayurvedic medicine for about 1,000 years. So the cool thing about colostrum is that applied topically, it can be a great antibiotic. And here's what's also great. It really speeds wound healing. So colostrum is the first milk. So when a mammal has newborns, for the first couple of days, colostrum comes through their milk. And this special milk has nutrients that they need for growth, and it has it helps with the immune system to bolster the immune system, as we talked about. And what it also has is growth factors in it. And these growth factors really speed wound healing. So all you need to do is take a little bit of colostrum, mix it in with some water until it's a paste, and you can use it for wounds, you can use it for surgical wounds, you could even use it for gingivitis in your dog's mouth, or even yeasty ears. So again, colostrum is a great thing to add to your dog's diet, and you really don't need much. You would give it every day, and for my Labradors, which are about 70 pounds, I'd give about 1/4 teaspoon of this particular product. It's not a lot. Want to give it away from meals, if possible. And what's great about colostrum is there's not a terrible taste to it, and you can mix it in with a little bit of bone broth or a little bit of kefir, and your dog should eat it up no problem. So give it once in the morning, away from food if you can, and give it for about 30 days and see how it goes, and then you might want to just give it as needed after that. So I hope that helps. It's a supplement you might want to add to your dog's diet. I think it's pretty cool, and I give it to a couple of my dogs as well.